Wouldn't it be great to have an unfair advantage over all of the 460,000 financial advisors as they chase the 3.5 million affluent families with over $1 million? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this week's First Word, how you can actually do it. I'm John Bowen, CEO of CEG Worldwide, and I got to tell you, the opportunity has never been better to differentiate yourself by gaining an unfair competitive advantage. And that unfair competitive advantage is what we call the advanced planning advantage. And in this week's First Word, I'm going to talk about wealth protection. See, the affluent, they're very concerned about a lot of things in today's world. The ambiguity, politically, economically, and socially, they're really concerned. And what do we do as financial advisors? Well, not as much as we should for the issues that they have. See, when we ask them beyond investments what they want help in from their financial advisor, they go to 4 areas. First one is wealth enhancement. This is mitigating income taxes. Second is wealth transfer, taking care of the heirs. Third is wealth protection. They say it as protecting their assets from being unjustly taken from legal. And fourth is charitable planning. These, if we want to differentiate ourselves from other financial advisors and make 3 times higher net income, we need to deliver on what much of the industry is promising, a world-class wealth management experience. Now, unfortunately, only 6% is delivering this. These are the 4 areas beyond helping them make smart decisions about their money that if you deliver, you'll put yourself in the top 6%. Wow, what an opportunity. Now, as we look at this opportunity, let's reflect. What do we do well as an industry? Well, many financial advisors are good protecting a client's piggy bank, their money, their nest egg, their assets, their financial assets. And as people become more affluent, and our definition of affluent is $1 million or more financial assets, this becomes even more important. People are concerned with all that's going on in the world. Now, that's their number one concern, which is great. Most of us want to deal with that because that's how we get compensated. But if we want to differentiate ourselves, we have to go a little bit farther. We have to protect the whole family. The whole family. This is one of the advanced planning concerns. So when we ask the affluent what they're concerned about, let me walk you through the 4 areas they're concerned about wealth protection. Number 1 isn't going to surprise you at all. The number 1 concern they have is protecting themselves. And when we ask them, protecting yourself and your loved ones came up number 1, themselves and their loved ones. Second, they want to protect their information. Their concern, the internet. There's really very little privacy, and protecting your confidential information is so important. How can you help them? The third is going ahead and protecting your financial assets. Okay, and lastly is protecting your property. These are the 4 big areas of concern. Now, when we look at what some of the checklist of things that we can do for them, okay, it's going to be a little overwhelming because we're so busy on the investment side, taking on the responsibility of all 4 areas of advanced planning. Wealth enhancement, mitigating their taxes. The second is wealth transfer, taking care of their heirs. I mean, we have videos I've already produced, so you can go back a couple weeks and see each of these. But here we're talking about wealth protection, and then next week I'm going to talk about charitable planning. These are all areas that we can add value, but when we start looking at them in aggregate, it's huge. Well, let me give you just some of the ideas that we see other top financial advisors implementing, and think of how you can do this systemically. I think you're going to be a little overwhelmed, and this is why most financial advisors don't do it. I mean, if we're thinking of wealth protection, we've got to quantify the exposure to risk and then, control the avoidable risk. We want to put processes in place, business processes, employment agreement, pre and post nuptial buy-sells for all family members. I mean, we want to do this ahead of time, and then we can transfer risks that we can't take care of through, just legal structures to personal lines of business, property casualty insurance, homeowners, auto, rental, personal excess liability. I mean, it's amazing how many people in today's world don't have umbrella insurance, health, disability, life, long-term care. They're, a director, liability, and, if they're professional liability insurance, all these things. Also, state law exemptions. How do we take care of those? Homeowners exemptions, cash value of life insurance is exempt in some states, retirement plans, annuity in other states, various forms of ownerships. We can create structures that put it beyond the reach of creditors or make these assets less desirable for creditors to chase. Also, limited liability entity structures, restructuring the current business, determining whether classic asset protection trusts are appropriate. Okay, how do you stay up on all these things? I mean, I have the privilege of coaching some of the top financial advisors in the world here at CEG, and working with them. I got to tell you, the list of solutions I hear is almost endless, and this is one of the challenges. Is how do you stay up on all these areas? And the answer is you can't. See, I mean, we go on, gifting assets and, transfers and avoiding fraudulent transfer issues. I mean, the theft, decent exposure there. There's so many different things, and even taking care of the pets, and then private placement insurance, creating your own insurance companies for physicians. I mean, this, some of the people working in this market have done that very well by doing that. See, the key is we want to establish smart, specific, measurable, achievable, result-oriented, time-bound solutions in dealing with all this, because you've got to have a systemic way of delivering these solutions. And these are substantial, because what we want to do is we want to protect the whole family, our client, the whole family, not just solve their investments. And to the extent you can, you differentiate yourself. And as you differentiate yourself, you're able to get results for your clients beyond investments and get a steady, they're going to introduce you. They want to share you. They're going to introduce you, and you can have a steady stream of new affluent clients raising their hands. Now, one of the ways we found this to be really effective is not trying to do it all on your own, is creating an expert team in delivering this wealth management consultative process. Now, in the short video, I can't go over all this, but in our ebook, Breaking Through, this is our second edition where we walk you through what our experience of studying over 20,000 financial advisors and 10,000 affluent families and coaching for over 10 years, some of the most successful advisors, not only in the US, but around the world, what they do to differentiate themselves, successfully serve their clients extremely well, and do very well by doing that. Breaking Through. You can download the book below and join me next week as we continue on this series of giving you an unfair advantage, an unfair competitive advantage, which we call the advanced planning advantage. This week we talked about wealth protection. Next week I'm going to talk about charitable planning. If you missed any in this 5-part series, go back and watch the previous first words. You're going to be glad you did. Your clients are going to be glad you did. We wish you the best of success.